What's going on? Jay in Bloomfield, New Jersey. Joe in Bloomfield, New Jersey. What's up, Joe? Joe going once?
Always,
yes, Joe.
No, Mike, I'm here. Mike?
Yeah, go ahead. What's up?
Okay, so as always, I wanted to thank you for having Coach Wright on the show. You know, I'm a proud Villanova alum, class of '96.
Okay.
And you know the man better than anybody on the planet. And it's astounding to me. He's never had an interest in that big stud recruit, never interested in the one-and-done guy. And here he is with 4 starters going into the draft. How does that even happen, Mike? Have you ever seen something like this happen before?
Well, he doesn't have a guy the highest guy is going to be probably 9th if he's 9th. So it's not like he's got one of those top 2 or 3 guys. He keeps guys and develops them for a length of time. They're not there for 1 year. He doesn't have those one-and-done guys, although he has a couple of really good players now, my understanding, in this new recruiting class, who might even have a one-and-done player, is my understanding, this time. So I don't know anything about the high school players. I don't pay attention. But I was told that one of those guys could actually be a one-and-done guy. He's that good. So they said this is the best class he's probably ever had. So give him a couple of years. He can get a year this year to develop and then have a pretty good team, but not be expected to win a championship. You know, they've been in the top 6 all of the last 6 years. I don't believe they've had a week where they fell out of the top 6 in the last 5 or 6 years. That's how consistent. They've been the winningest team in college basketball for the last 6 years. Chris in Connecticut. What's up, Chris?
Hey, Mike. Congrats on Mongo Nation.
Oh, thanks.
2 questions on the draft pertaining to the Knicks.
Yes.
So you had one of the guys on before, and he was talking about the trade that Memphis is trying to trade back.
Right.
And I don't know, somehow the Knicks got attached to it.
Knicks, somebody took his part of the deal and attached the Knicks as one of the teams. Now, you heard Brendan Brown say that Memphis has a trading partner. He does not know that it's the Knicks, though.
Okay. Because I'm hoping they won't do that unless they're on the clock. This isn't something where they're just going to make the trade to move up and whoever's there to take. I can't imagine it'd be that.
Well, I think they would do it only if they knew what players were gone.
So you'd have to do it on the clock, right?
Yes.
Yeah. The other question is, it's obvious to see where the league is going, and the Knicks. I mean, the position of point guard, we just haven't had a point guard that's dynamic in so long, and obviously. Last year passing on Donovan Mitchell, seeing what he turned into is, it just hurts even more. And it's become a guard wing-orientated league. Do you think, it's hard to say unless you know who's there, but what do you think the need is? I don't know, like the Sexton kid from Alabama, if he's really the answer, if we should just load up on wings. What do you think, Mike?
I think they need a lot of stuff. I think they need a really good shooter. I think they need a point guard. I think they can use virtually anything. There's nothing they don't need. They need athleticism. Whatever position they could get it at, you would take it. So you would take a really good wing player. You would take a really good point guard. You would take a good player at any. You would take a good scoring guard. You take anything that you could get. They need everything. Chris in New Jersey. What's up, Chris?
For me?
Yes. What's up?
Hey, how you doing, Mike? Great show.
Thanks.
I just wanted to get everybody on the right page with this kid pitching tonight. His name is Loweyeseega.
That's not how we were given it. We were given Loweyeseega is how they wanted it pronounced. That's what we got.
Aaron Boone just pronounced it.
Well, I'm just telling you how we got it from the Yankees. Loweyeseega is how we got it. Sorry. So that's what I've been given, and that's what I was given last week. L-O-W-I, capital I-S-E-G-A is how we were given it. So that's all I can tell you.
Yeah, I'm blind. I don't even know how to spell it, but I just
I'm just telling you that's the way we were given the pronunciation was Loweyeseega.
But Aaron Boone just pronounced it Loweyeseega.
Well, I'm just telling you what again, any way the kid wants it is okay with me, but Loweyeseega is the way we were given it. Sorry. So that's the way I have the pronunciation guide is low, cap I, Sega, S-E-G-A, Loweyeseega. So if he wants to change that, it's okay with me. Sonny and Malvern, what's up, Sonny?
Three quick Met questions. One, you and Dog used to play that game when around this time of year, baseball team was done or not. Are the Mets done or no?
Do I think the Mets are done? Yes.
Okay.
As far as going to the playoffs, yes, I think they're done.
Yes. Question number 2, Seth Lugo, would you use him as a starter or a reliever, or it doesn't matter at this point?
I would use them where I needed them, wherever I needed them or felt I needed them most. That's where I would use him. If I had I think he can fill any role that you need him to fill, and that's a rare quality that you have in a pitcher. So I would use him where I thought I needed him most. I would use him.
I agree. I think he's the third most important.
Right now, they need it. Unless Syndergaard's in the rotation, they need him in the starting rotation.
Right. Question number 3, final question. When it comes time to rebuild this team, and the Mets have stated, obviously, they're not going to trade DeGrom and Syndergaard, most likely, and it's not in their DNA to spend a lot of money on players, especially big-name players like, Harper, which I don't think, they should get anyway, way too much money, and I think he has off-seasons like this year, and 2 years ago he didn't have a great season, or Machado. So how do you rebuild this team, Mike, if they're not going to go out and spend a lot of money and they're not going to trade DeGrom or Syndergaard for, a bunch of...
Well, I think the way you build this team is to... First, they need to have their core of pitchers be solid. And that, I'm talking about for this year and next year. I'm not looking past that. And that means getting performances out of Gesellman and Lugo, figuring they're going to trade Familia, getting performances out of Matz and Wheeler, getting performances out of the big two, and then getting something out of Cespedes. Then you got to make decisions about guys like Bruce and Frazier, guys like that, and then you're going to try to build around guys like Conforto and Nimmo and Rosario, guys like that, and then
Mike,
supplement some players around that.
Do you think they can get back in the next 2 years, say, to what they were 3 years ago during the World Series, or the next year, even when they made the wild card?
Listen, I said this at the start of the year, and some people thought I was crazy, and I think it's been proved out. There's no guy who's more valuable to his team than Cespedes is. And to me, Cespedes, without Cespedes, the Mets have no chance. And
can they get another guy like him after he leaves? Or
remember, he's still here. He's not going anywhere yet. So, I think they need Cespedes back in the worst way. Plus, Bruce hit 36 homers last year. He has 3. You cannot overcome something like that. This is Mons hands me that members of the Knicks organization met in person today with Texas's Bamba in New York. Knicks are considering trading up. Bamba's funny. He's been mentioned in so many different places. They might not have to trade that far up. There are places that have put him as far back as 7 and 8. Earlier, he had been mentioned in the top 3 picks. Now it seemed like Mo Bamba has fallen in the draft. So whatever that means, we'll see if that's true. Hey, you're going to get a lot of rumors in the next hour or two. That's just the way it goes. Mark in New Jersey. What's up, Mark?
Hey, Mike, 2 questions for you.
Yes.
One, yesterday you said that there was a guy who you liked, and I was just curious if you mentioned him earlier in the broadcast.
Well, you see, I like a couple of guys, but I don't expect the Knicks I would almost like them at 9 if they were in a better position. It sounds like the Knicks are looking to go from 9 forward, which changes everything because this guy's not in that group. If they were down in the draft a little bit, or even had decided at 9 they didn't love a guy and they traded and got a couple of picks in the teens or something like that, if they wouldn't love a guy at 9, I love Dante. I think he's going to be a really good player, and if I could get him, he's a reach at 9, which I agree. Okay, but at 15, I would love him. I would even like him before that. Sounds like the Knicks are trying to go into the top 5 or 6 now. If they're trying to do that, they're doing that for a different player. I think he's highly underrated. I see people have him going now in the early 20s to a couple of different NBA teams, including the Sixers at 26, a couple of guys before that. He's moved into that part of the draft. I had first thought that maybe if things broke right, that he could somehow slip to the bottom of the first round and they could maybe trade up and get him. Doesn't sound like he's going to slip that far now. I like him a lot, though. I think he could really be a very good player in the NBA. I think he could be an incredibly exciting player and a player who could really turn out to be a very good, useful, and I think even exciting NBA player. I really believe that.
His athleticism is definitely
enormous. It's
impressive.
Unbelievable, and he's a scoring machine, and that's what they need, somebody who light up the Garden, and he would light it up. He'd make it a lot of fun. And, again, if they're looking to move up into the top 4 or 5 now. They have different designs, obviously, and they need so much, as we know. So I would like to see, somebody's going to get him in the 20s, and I think they're going to be thrilled with what they get. Dan in Chester, New Jersey. What's up, Dan?
Hey, Mike, how's it going?
Good, what's happening?
On the Yankees, it seems like, I'm not really sure why they're not really looking at giving Chad Green another chance of being a starter.
I don't like him as a starter. I think he's a reliever.
Yeah, and I heard you say yesterday, the bullpen, if it's not broke, don't fix it.
Also, I don't think he's a guy that's going to go twice around in anybody's rotation. I don't think he's going around the lineup twice. I just don't think he's that kind of guy. I saw Goose Gossage pitch, and I'm not trying to say that Green is Goose Gossage. I saw the White Sox when they made Goose Gossage a starting pitcher. He would be lights out the first time around, and he would get tattooed the second time around. And that's when he became a reliever. He was an all-time great reliever, but he was not a starter. He just couldn't carry his explosiveness that long. I don't see Green carrying it that long either.
And what's the internal feeling on Justice Sheffield? Is he just not ready, or will he be ready at some point this year?
I don't know. I do not know if he's. Listen, I would feel like anybody they thought was ready, they would be getting ready to give a chance to pitch up here. So I don't know if he is or he isn't. John in Oxford, Connecticut. What's up, John?
Hey, Mike. Thanks for taking the call.
Yeah, what's up?
I didn't get a chance to talk to you about the U.S. Open and Phil Mickelson. I was pretty much put it under the rug, who cares? And then he comes out today with this apology, and I'm sure you're aware of it. And I don't think it was necessary, but from my point of view, I'm more bothered by his most recent apology than anything else.
Why is that?
I think, because, let it lie. What he said afterward, he said it so well, too, like he had rehearsed it. And
which really we didn't believe, to be honest with you, okay?
Right. Well, but this is what bothers me, Mike. Why say it then?
Because he has a habit sometimes of, I think, making everybody believe that he's got an answer for everything and that everything he did was thought out. I don't think that was...
Is he a sincere guy?
You know what? That's a hard thing to say. Who knows who's sincere and who's not? You don't live in somebody else's skin, so who knows? But the point is, listen, his answer to me was one that he rehearsed between that hole and the finish in my mind. Okay, because he that was done out of frustration. That was not done out of calculation.
And that's what he admitted.
That was not done out of calculation. And I do know this. I reported this yesterday. Okay, I know that he was very hurt by what happened. He was very hurt by the reaction. I said that to the audience yesterday. I knew that. I did not talk to him, but I know someone who's very close to him and told me that Phil was very hurt by some of the reaction in golf. He was very. Now I didn't get. I will read the apology because we haven't had a chance to get to it today because we've been busy. But I will read it since you brought it up. Here it is. Alan Shipnuck, who was among the reporters to receive the text, reported its contents. He sent this out to multiple guys. I know this should have come sooner, but it's taken me a few days to calm down. My anger and frustration got the best of me last weekend. I'm embarrassed and disappointed by my actions. It was clearly not my finest moment, and I'm sorry. What he said here is exactly what I said yesterday and said on Monday. Phil was frustrated. This was not done with calculation. This was done out of frustration. This is what he should have said at the time. Now, he did apologize to the USGA and told them if they thought he should disqualify himself, he would. That's my understanding. They said no. He did offer to disqualify himself. They said no, it wasn't necessary. That was after the round on Saturday. He played the round on Sunday. He even defiantly raised his arms after he one-putted the green. Okay? A little bravado with the crowd. This answer here, my anger and frustration got the best of me. It wasn't my finest moment, which is what he said Saturday night. Okay? Now what he has said here is exactly what we knew to be the truth. That was out of anger and frustration. And I can't tell you this. He says here, it's taken me a few days to calm down. As I reported yesterday, Phil was very upset by the reaction. He felt that he had been hammered in a lot of places, and people defended him. I did. Other people defended him. Some people hammered him. He was very upset by the people who hammered him. So he was very hurt by the whole thing, is my understanding. And his feelings were very badly hurt, my understanding, from people who knew him, okay, who know him very well. That's what they relayed to me. So now, to me, he has owned up to what we knew to be the truth anyway, which was he didn't calculate that. He was angry. He was frustrated. And now he's admitted that. So it took him a couple of days to come around. That should be the end of it. That should be the end of it. It really should. Back after this.